So, as the festive period winds down and Christmas comes to become something of the past, it's going to be really common for a lot of us to find ourselves in this sort of slumped over, negative, shitty sort of feeling. It seems to always happen following these really high octane events, and it makes perfect sense. You've got all this build up and all of this excitement for something, and all of a sudden it's gone. This is something that's really ailed me in myself, and I've spent a long time this year actually preparing for Christmas and for this moment. And the reason I wanted to speak today about this is because I think there's a real art to understanding how to navigate the coming weeks, or maybe even months for some people, and how to get through these times without feeling that real slump that makes you nihilistic and feel as though things are just not as good because all of a sudden there's no more excitement in the life. Now, as I say, I've spent a long time recently really trying to make the most of each day that came before Christmas in an attempt to go, I know that once Christmas comes, I will be over the hill, and before I know it, I'll be looking backwards at good memories, which will give me that nostalgic pessimism that I'm oh so prone to. So I looked 4 days before Christmas. I looked 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 2 weeks before Christmas, and I was going, got X amount of days before Christmas yet. I still got that time. And now I face a new challenge of the fact that the Christmas is done. Today is Christmas Eve, the eve of Christmas Day, and all of the preparation is done. I'm now behind. I'm no longer in that phase. And I was thinking about how I feel about the fact that Christmas is done. Now, my initial thought was one of sadness. I was upset by the fact that my family members had left and that the day itself was done and that the magic was gone. And then I went on a walk and I realised actually that this is the way I'm supposed to feel about this thing. I'm supposed to feel sad and a bit disappointed at the fact that this is over. And the reason I'm supposed to feel that way is the same reason as to why I was so excited for it to occur and why we all are. The reason why we're so excited for anything to happen, is because we want it to happen, because it's going to be fun. And of course, in that moment, you don't want the moment to end. You don't want the time to stop because you're having fun. That's the whole point. And I've heard people say to death about this idea of, oh, well, if it was Christmas Day every day, you wouldn't enjoy it so much. Yeah, maybe so, but that's not the way the world works. So I'm not going to use that parameter because it's not helpful. But I thought, rather than opposing and feeling negative about the fact that something is done, actually recognizing and comprehending that actually I'm not supposed to feel good now. I'm not supposed to feel good. Having a comprehension of the fact that this time is not for feeling good because you've just felt good, and there's going to of course be that little decline as a result of having such a good time. I feel like coming to an understanding of knowing that this is not going to be such an enjoyable time is a really helpful parameter, because it dispels the illusion. It's so easy in the following days to become intrinsic to the point of woe is me and feeling so bad for yourself. But actually, when you think about it on a basis of, I'm supposed to feel a bit down. This is the way it's supposed to be. I feel like getting a comprehension of that is actually a really helpful parameter and a really helpful perspective. And I think it's important to have a concept of something like this, because these moments and these scenarios are going to be a persistent, recurring theme in your life. And you want them to be, because if you think about it, as I've just said there, the reason why these moments are tough is because the moment that preceded them was so good. You don't come home from a really shit day at work and think, oh no, my shit day at work is done. No, you think, fuck yes, my shit day at work is done. So the fact that you can find yourself in this nostalgic, it's all done, or I wish I was back there. The fact you find yourself in this position means you're enjoying life. And I think this is just the byproduct that comes along for the ride, is that in the process of enjoying, of course, when it's not there anymore, you're going to be a bit upset about the fact it's not there anymore. And there's always going to be that part of you that won't be able to temper. And this is why I say about the argument of people saying, oh, well, you wouldn't want it every day. You're never going to be able to temper that, because that's not the scenario. If it did happen every day, yeah, you would get bored of it, but it doesn't. So your mind will not be able to fill in the blanks for you with that. Or mine certainly can't. And I say, having the angle of knowing you were there is really important. That was something that I felt myself doing as best as I could. And I looked back today, and I did so yesterday as well, and thought, I'm never going to be able to stop time. It's not possible for me to actually stand time still and have a longer version of today. I think it was the first thing I said to myself when I woke up today was, you can be as present in each moment as you can be, but the day will only be 24 hours long. It's only going to be as long as every other day, and it will last as long as any other day. You're not going to have a longer day just because you want to have one. So the best thing you can do is just be present in as many moments as you can be. And that was something that I thought, and I can credit Sam Harris to this. If you don't know who Sam Harris is, type in Sam Harris and just watch through anything that comes up. He's a brilliant person. That just being present in the moments that connect a one scenario to the next, being present in that moment is the absolute key to at least being able to come back on these thoughts with no regrets. Because I think if you can look back and you can go, oh man, I wish it was 6 a.m. again, because the day's still there to come. If you can look back and go, but was I there at 6 a.m? Did I make an effort at 6 a.m. in the morning to go, it's Christmas Day? No, recognise, know that you're here. My favourite word, recognise, seemingly. Know that you're in this moment. And when you get into the cold shower, know that you're here. When you go for your run, know that you're there. When you hug your mum in the morning, know that you're there. Really paying attention to what it is that you're doing certainly helps to dispel some of the pain that comes with nostalgia, because you don't have the regret. And this is what I mean, is you can at least, if you do look back with this nostalgic glint that I certainly do, and I know a lot of people do, of course we do, if you can look back and you can tell yourself categorically that, yeah, of course I want to be back there, it would be great to be able to time travel back to great times and just keep doing it over and over again. How cool would that be? Of course. But if you can look and you can go, but was the best version of myself that, if I had the opportunity to go back with this knowledge, would I now, with the knowledge of the fact that I feel worse as a result of the day ending, act any different to how I did this morning? Well, if the answer's no, then that really tells you what it tells you, because you lived and you did as best as you could, and you tried to be in the moment as best as you could, and that's all you can do. As I say, if you have your time back 1,000 times over and you wouldn't have done anything differently, then you did the best that the day was going to offer you, and as a result of that, you're going to feel better than if you looked and you went, do you know what, actually I paid no attention to what was happening between 1 and 3 o'clock, so 2 hours of the day I felt like I was just wasting. Now, something that's going to be very interesting to navigate following these days is how this perspective can be applied to everyday life. Now, as I was walking around, I thought, there's clearly a way of applying what it is that I'm speaking about to each day, to really knowing, actually, to be present in each moment of each day and really enjoy the world for all of its glory at all times. There's a way to do that, of course, but it's a very Buddhist and stoic and admirable way of living. And I think the thing that makes moments like Christmas so difficult for this is because it's so obvious. Everyone, I paraphrase and I simplify, but you know what I'm saying. Everyone has a good time on Christmas Day. It's a good time of the year for most people. And with that, there's this real union and united feeling that means the you can't escape the glum feeling that follows Christmas, because a lot of people are feeling it. If you're feeling shit on a 30-degree summer's day, a lot of people aren't. So it doesn't feel the same. Whereas there is that drop off first week of January. There's going to be a lot of people that feel really glum because it's the middle of winter and Christmas is done and there's nothing to look forward to for a lot of people, and it's just that shit time. Now, as I say, it's going to be interesting to look at how applicable this is to each day, because it does have to become the goal. If you continue to look forward to things the way you look forward to Christmas, it's this day away, this day away, this day away. That is good, of the fact that you're making the most of the day you're looking forward to. But you could fall into counting the days towards it, wishing the days away. I do think, though, contrary to what I've just said there, that having a goal, a kind of a period of time to look forward to in a few weeks' time, is a really helpful thing, because it makes you enjoy today, because you can look at it from the perspective of, I would like to be back on this day, because then I'll be still 7 days away from the holiday that I'm going on, or from my birthday or Christmas, whatever. It provides value to this day, because this day becomes the 7th. You've still got 7 whole days before it's the special event. So that does provide value in this day. I think it's one of those challenges that I'm by no means the smartest person on the planet. None of us are. None of us ever will be. And I have still got a lot to learn about how my brain works. But I feel like I wouldn't want to feel any other way about these moments. As I said before, you don't come back from work and think, fuck, man, I wish I was still at work. I'm just fucking hating my life in there. You don't do that. And that's because you don't enjoy it. And what I come to perceive from that is that if me enjoying myself comes with a fallout of I might not feel so good afterwards, well, I'd rather do that than not enjoy myself. So it is a part of the journey. It's something that comes along for the ride. It's a feature, not a bug, as Sam Harris says. Drop the plug. So I thought about my experiences today, and I thought, I'm sure there's a Buddhist way of applying principles to this that make it so you're not so hung up on things and you don't have really any kind of, that's done. I don't know if I want that. I don't know if I want that, because what I feel that suggests is that I'm detached from the moment. And as someone who's not remotely enlightened, I don't know whether maybe that detachment is real bliss. But to me, I would rather know that the pain of knowing something's gone or done is there because of how good it was. I'd rather have that than not have it, because it means I had a good time. It's on a broader scale, a negative that's somehow a positive, in my opinion. But I wanted to make this video because, to be honest, I know there's going to be a lot of people that find themselves in this position. I know there's going to be people that are sad that Christmas is done, or worried that next year's coming, or will just experience that general low feeling that seems to be in the air if you're in England in the first weeks of January. I wanted to make this video because it's important to know that this is okay. And I think that's a critical part, is knowing that, do you know what? If you've had a really good time, every normal day where you're not doing anything, it's just a normal day, is not going to compare particularly well to Christmas Day, when you've got all the food, all your friends, all your family, doing fuck all, having a fucking laugh of a time, drinking, doing whatever you want. Like, it's like the fucking best day. Especially for someone, you boys on here. If you're listening to this video, you're probably a driven person who has real impetus and really puts themselves out for some things. And fuck me, sometimes I really hope, if you are these people, that you enjoyed today, because if you're that sort of person, you have to enjoy these days, because we work hard. And as I say, you look at today and you go, oh, fuck, man. You know, you might have got some work in the morning, but you know that today you allowed yourself to go off the rails and just a bit because it's Christmas Day. And now you know it's soon to become back to the stringent, I must do this way. Um, so if things aren't feeling so good in the coming weeks or so, that's fine. It will pass. You will be alright. The sun will come back out again. And you will get past the point of missing Christmas. And trust me, you will. You always do. We always do. And it will come around again and you will experience the same problem again. And this is what I mean, where you're getting comfortable with the fact that this is a feature and this is a part of the journey that we find ourselves on will be an important, valuable, and just generally helpful lesson to learn because it's going to come around. And the reason it's going to come around is because you're going to have some really good times in life. And when you have those really good times, you're going to know you had them. So with that being said, I really hope that anyone that's watching this has had a lovely day today. And I hope that you can look and you can think about the days that are to come and know that even if you don't feel so good, that's alright. And you will be alright. Trust me, you'll be alright. Know that somewhere in this world, wherever you are, my brother, I will be feeling a similar way. Because that's the way. Gentlemen, I love you always. I'm going to show you. Oh, no, I'm not, because I'm going to cut this out.